the sun sets, we welcome you on this beautiful afternoon to Falkor Bay. Alongside me, English fighting legend Johnny Nelson.
The pleasure's always mine, my friend.
It's time now for our tale of the tape. The one and only Sergio Martlnez. Weighed in at 160 pounds. He's 5 foot 8 inches tall and has a reach of almost 73 inches. And up against him, it's Benavidez, 188 centimeters tall with a reach of 189 centimeters.
Todd, this is well anticipated. I'm so looking forward to this, Terry. These two are really up for it. You know what? Nobody believes they're going to lose.
They call him the... It's the Mexican monster, Benavidez.
This bout is scheduled for 8 rounds of boxing. Fighting out of the red corner, from Buenos Aires, Argentina, here is a unified and sensational middleweight champion of the world, Sergio Maravilla Martlnez. Fighting out of the blue corner, from Phoenix, Arizona, an all-action, exciting, 2-division champion of the world, known as the Mexican Monster, Benavidez.
A lot of pre-match drama, and they will settle their score under the sun here in this outdoor venue.
It's hard. You've got to concentrate, preserve that energy, because when the heat's on you and you get hit, that's double heat.
Thousands of fans here in attendance tonight, but when the bell rings, there will only be 2 that we're talking about. Here we go, round 1. Who's going to land the first big shot? And that hook scores. They exchange punches. He needs to be careful not to punch himself out. And that hook misses. The sun is blazing this afternoon, and these 2 athletes are going to have to find a way to deal with it.
Todd, this is something you could never, ever get used to. How many gyms are built outside? How many times do we train, spar, and everything outside? Now you're having a fight outside. This is where fighters may gas themselves out. This is where the environment may make so much of a difference. You may not realize it, but watch when the rounds roll on.
Both of these fighters have had their moments.
Perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them more than happy.
Someone tell these 2 that they can be defensive for a minute if they want to. Missing with the hook. I don't think it's going to be a boxing match. This is going to be a fight. Perfect counter shot. Very close round with 10 seconds to go. Let's talk about Martlnez in that last round. The game plan does not seem to be working here. What's he have to do differently?
Every second, every minute of this fight is important. Every second, every minute of this round is important. You cannot afford to lose it.
Get the boxing back together. Put him back in his place. Smart. Now don't wait to look.
On to the second round. So not the best round, but let's see if they can turn it around here.
They've had 1 minute to recover. Now they've got to bluff it. They've got to bluff it. They've got to come out now and style it out. Get on the back foot, jab, rest on the jab. Be smart and pop until your legs come back. Then put the pressure on.
This counter-puncher is going to wait for you to move first, and then will strike like a snake. Keep an eye on this guy.
Counter-puncher is my favorite kind of fighter. A good counter-puncher, they're the people that make the history of our sport.
That hook won't score. to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. Halfway through the round, and there's not a lot separating these two.
Skill for skill, tap for tap. She's like a match made in heaven.
That left hook missed. Nice counter shot. This counter fighter believes in the anything you can do, I can do better. They'll let you throw a punch first, and they'll answer you and usually hit you harder.
Todd, I understand what you're saying, but you've got to be on this. You've got to be on it. You've got to be a pro. You've got to think live, concentrate.
Incredible work rate. This round's still up for grabs with just 10 seconds to go. About Martlnez in that last round. That bell could not have come soon enough for this guy.
Needs a knockout without a doubt. Needs to go out there and think, right, you know what? Next round, you're getting it. You're going to get it. Kitchen chaps.
There's the bell for round 3. Well, they got battered last round. How do they turn their fortunes around?
That was a tough last round. Now you've got to make sure he doesn't put it on him. That's what he's going to try and do. So tie him up, hold him, lean on him. Don't get drawn into a fight. Not yet. Not until your senses have come back.
Oh, a little rope-a-dope here. Misses with the straight left. Big hook. Good thing it didn't land. Halfway through the round, I'm not sure who's winning it.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
That hook was thrown with some bad intentions. Is obviously the great equalizer in boxing, but when you know your opponent is relying on that so heavily, how do you deal with it?
I've seen certain fighters that can depend on just their power alone. Forget tactics. They know the second they touch you, it's done. That's where the confidence comes from.
Nice counter. You know the scorecards are going to be all over the place in this one. Talk about Martlnez in that last round. As bad as boxing judging can be sometimes, there's no doubt who won that round.
You can't leave it up to the judges. It's up to you as a fighter. And the cornerman's got to put a firecracker on that fighter. Get out there and get the job done.
There's the bell for round 4. Got all the momentum on their side after that last round. Let's see what they do here.
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
Stamina is off the charts. He's putting the pedal to the metal, but has to be careful that he doesn't run out of gas. He threw a punch and just got countered. Lucky that hook didn't score. Nice counter shot. Halfway through the round, and I don't know who's got the advantage. Great stuff.
Skill for skill, tap for tap. She's like a match made in heaven. How
about that time counter shot? What do you think of this fight so far, Johnny?
Some fighters are just gifted. Gifted with such hand speed, footwork, movement. They are gifted. They are the chosen few.
They're both trying for a knockout. They need to be careful they don't punch themselves out here. A very competitive round with 10 seconds left. Let's talk about Martlnez in that last round. Well, he is in big trouble here. He may have been saved by the bell.
You know, I've been in fights like that. When you're thinking, come on, bro, ring away. You walk back to the corner like you've just seen the sun.
Get back out there, win the round.
Here's the bell to start round 5. Coming off a very tough round. Let's see what they do here.
This is one of those situations. You've just been hurt. You've got to get out there again. Be smart. Be sharp. Don't be a fool. Don't get suckered in. Make him fight your fight. Hold him, tie him up just until your head clears again and your legs come back again. Because if you don't, he's going to pop you off.
Tried to score with that hook, but missed. A perfect counter lands. How much confidence do you build when your opponents hit you with their best shot and you walk right through it?
Middleweight always gives us a class. If you've got 2 class middleweight fighters, you are in for action. I'm quite sure right now, if you know your boxing, there's a certain fighter, I would just say marvelous, but some fighters were unbelievable middleweight.
This has been a very competitive round as we reach the midway point.
Perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them more than happy.
Nice counter punch right up the middle. They both want a knockout, you can tell. The stamina is off the charts. That counter punch caught him clean. Despite what the judges' scorecards read, there are no losers in this one. Let's talk about David Benavidez that last round. You've heard the old phrase, this might come down to who wants it more, but it might come down to who's in better. Let's start the 6th. How much is left in their tank after last round?
Exerted a lot of energy in the fight so far. Now they're shattered. This is what you call championship rounds. If you have done the work, slept right, ate right, prepped right, I'm expecting you to get through this. If not, if you cheated, the ring can be the loneliest place in the world.
In the early rounds of a fight, you'll see 2 boxers feel each other out, test each other's power, and I think this boxer has decided I can walk through anything that lands.
The middleweights are the best you can ever come across. Obviously, the flyweight is a heavyweight, but the middleweight is the size of the average man or woman. When you get in there and you're letting the shots go, you've got power, you've got speed, you've got pace, you can stand, you can dance, you can do everything. We can look back in history. You know the amazing fights at middleweight are ridiculous. That is what writes our history book.
So much bruising. Will the referee stop this fight? And the referee's going to allow him to fight. Good idea, but misses with the left hook. He got out of the way of that right hook. And he wasn't ready for that counter punch. powerful counterpunch. This round could go either way. 10 seconds to go. David Benavidez in that last round. I'm worried about these two fighters gassing out as this fight goes on.
You cannot gas out if you prepared right, slept right, ate right, and did everything.
And there's the bell to start round 7. How much do they have left in the tank after that last round?
An amazing pace and tempo set in the last round. Can you keep this up? Me personally, I don't think that's possible. And if they can, their training, their conditioning would have been ridiculous, like they're in the army. But these guys, if they can keep up this pace, we are in for a great night.
This fighter's certainly not going to outthrow their opponent by any means, but they will, when they hit, be a lot harder.
You've got to be courageous when you get in there with someone that's bigger, stronger, and faster. You've just got to use brain there.
There's a counter shot. They threw the hook. It didn't land. A lot of... Whoa, wait a minute! Martlnez forced to step back. He's on wobbly legs. Keeping those gloves up, the guard high, paying dividends as it seems that moment of trouble has passed.
Got caught sleeping on the job. What do? You step back, steady yourself, recompose yourself, then boom, back into it. But do not make those mistakes. This is the wrong place to fall asleep.
Back and forth they go in this round. The momentum continues to shift.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
Throw a shot, they get countered. Got out of the way of that right hook. You know the scorecards are going to be all over the place in this one. Let's talk about Benavidez that last round. We'll see how much endurance these two fighters have.
This is when you talk about championship material.
Get out there and switch up.
And we enter the 8th round. They really seemed to exhaust themselves last round. Let's see what they have left.
What are they doing that, man? Are they trying to get an earning out? That's a lot of energy burst. They did 6 rounds in one. They're going to be absolutely...
Well, Johnny, complete and total domination, a stoppage victory. How do you rate the performance?
Just like another, like TKO, it's Teddy Pendergrass over. TKO is spot on.